Ordinarily, every day, our minds are bombarded by data, by information, to the extent that we end up paying attention to nothing. With your eyes open at the moment, you will realize, if you just even take a quick look around, never mind your peripheral vision, but if you take a quick look around, you are surrounded by a rich visual field. If you're walking down a crowded street with a load of faces, your mind simply cannot process that rich visual field. You will pick out one or two people, or you may pick out nobody at all. Internally, we are bombarded with 70,000 thoughts during our waking day. So the stuff coming at us from all directions, never mind the fact that with texting and emailing and SMS and this, that and the other, we're actually only heaping more nonsense upon the nonsense that is already distracting us. The point I'm making is that because there's so much data coming at us, and because we need to discern the data that is important to us, and because that our minds, our current 21st century minds, are a leftover of how we evolved over the past 1.8 million years, we've evolved a way of only paying attention to things that threaten our lives. As a result, in the course of our ordinary 21st century lives, in deciding not to pay attention to this huge amount of stuff coming in and discern only what is really important, we end up, as I said a minute ago, paying attention to nothing. Now, I'm not exaggerating. We pay attention to nothing. Indeed, normally, if you're engrossed in something, you're paying attention to what you think is going on. There's actually a qualitative difference between being in what the University of Chicago calls flow and being buried in a rut doing what you're doing. There's a qualitative difference. People often say to me, well, now I'm much more focused than I used to be. And the point is that they're much more focused than they used to be when they compare themselves to how they were. But they're not very focused if they could compare themselves to how they could be. Now, that's an unanswerable comparison, because how can you compare yourself to where you haven't experienced yet? But there is a route to experience, and that route to experience is deliberately, very deliberately, paying attention to something simple for a few minutes every day. We're talking about mental exercising, talking about meditation. Let me pick a particular example of meditation. Anapana, meditation of the breath. Now, I don't mean a breathing meditation where you start breathing heavily or start taking short breaths or deep breaths. I'm talking about observing your ordinary breathing. In that discipline, what you are encouraged to do is sit down for a few minutes, or maybe a few hours, but we're practical people, let's stick to the few minutes. What you are encouraged to do is sit down for a few minutes and focus on how air feels passing through your nostrils. Nothing else. But you understand the significance of trying to do that. What you are doing is training your mind to pay attention to what you have decided to pay attention to. And therein lies the huge benefit of meditation. Therein lies meditation's ability to discipline an otherwise undisciplined mind. It enables you to pay attention to what you have decided to pay attention to. Now that begs a whole lot of other questions, but let's not go there today. I'm simply making the point about your need to pay attention to what you think you need to pay attention